Today is Friday, March 15, which time for major FF till tomorrow, Saturday 316, also next Tuesday 319. From March 20th till the end of the month 31st, which time for rapture. March 20th is the middle of spring, is the 10th day of the first month in Eagle calendar, till Thursday, March 21st, which time for rapture. Then March 22nd to 23rd, which time for time turn back. I'm speculating to 2009 or 2012. Okay, then next Sunday, March 24th to Monday, March 25th, which time for rapture, the 14th day of the first month in Eagle calendar. Sunday 24th is full moon, is also the beginning of Passover. Then March 27, 28, which time for rapture, is the 17th day of the first month in Eagle calendar. Then the end of the month, March 31st, which time for rapture, 21st day of the first month in Eagle calendar till April 1st. There's an earthquake alert for Southern California from today till the 18th next Monday. Today I'd like to continue to discuss the major players behind the scene that have been controlling the world ever since the ancient times. Yesterday I discussed Lilith. She had ginger hair and was a vampire. Also, her normal self was an owl. Vampires and Judas, the myths of history of red hair. There are legends that link vampires with both red hair and Judas. It's said that Judas became the first vampire when he committed suicide following his betrayal of Christ. The 30 pieces of silver he received for this betrayal then becoming a weapon that could be used against him, burning his skin with its touch. Red was the color of the hair of Judas and King. I have not met with the following tradition save orally, but it is believed in Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania that there are certain red-pooled vampires who are called children of Judas, and that these, the foulest of foul, kill their victim with one bite or kiss, which drains the blood as it were at a single draw. The poisoned flesh of the victim is wounded with the devil's stigmata, 3 hideous scars shaped thus XXX, signifying the 30 pieces of silver, the price of blood. There you have the XXX originated from. Remember, there's a movie's name, XXX. On the topic of Judas and Eastern Europe, another avenue of intrigue worthy of investigation is the mystery surrounding the so-called Red Jews. The Red Jews were a Jewish tribe or nation that appeared in German sources during the medieval era. The reason for the name Red is contested, but some believe they were called as such because they had red hair. In fact, some people equate them with the Khazars, a Turkic nation that supposedly adopted Judaism in the 8th century. The Khazars were described by Arab scholars as being red-haired and blue-eyed. The Khazars are the descendants of Japheth. and they conquer the territories from Middle East to Asia, which is north of China, the Mongol. From my research, I found out that Poland was heavily populated with the Ashkenazic Jews, who are also known for their red hair. So, Ashkenazic are the descendants of Japheth, and also I believe they are the Nazi because look at the name at the end is Nazi, Nazic. In a 1990 article titled Polish Jewish History, the author stated that during the 18th century at least, about half of the urban population of Poland was Jewish. They claim themselves as Jewish, but they are not Israelites. They are not the descendants of the 12 tribes. In an article titled On the Radical Characteristics of Modern Jews, researchers found that there were thrice as many red-haired individuals as either Poles, Russians, or Austrians, and half as many again as Germans. I also found this passage on the Wikipedia page for red hair. Red hair is also fairly common amongst the Ashkenazi Jewish populations, possibly because of the influx of European DNA over a period of centuries. In European culture prior to the 20th century, red hair was often seen as a stereotypically Jewish trait. During the Spanish Inquisition, all those with red hair were identified as Jewish. In Italy, red hair was associated with Italian Jews, and Judas was traditionally depicted as red-haired in Italian and Spanish art. The idea that all redheads were identified as Jewish during the Spanish Inquisition is especially interesting. The image below also looks strikingly Judas-like to me. Red hair, hanging, holding what look like money bags. However, although it looks like Judas, it is in fact an image of the hanged man and supposedly comes from the oldest known tarot pack thought to have been made for the French King Charles VI in 1392. So right here, this writer say Jesus was red hair. I don't believe it because they of course would paint Jewish as related to Judas King, all those devils, right? Judas, father of all vampires. He is the 30 pieces of silver. Judas, according to a Hebrew legend, was the first vampire ever in history. Though ancient writings from around the world mention vampire-like creatures being around several thousand years before Christ, it is said by some that vampires have two separate beginnings, one from Judas and one from a creature from very ancient times, which is Lilith. Yesterday we discussed that. Egyptians told of a creature much like a vampire that was said to have existed 6,000 or more years ago. The Hebrew legend in the book that God punished Judas after Judas hanged himself by restoring life to him, and that God cursed him to live until the last days. God is said to have told Judas that he would fear the sun and the light of the day, and that he would roam the night. He went on to tell Judas that the life is in the blood, and that blood from living humans would be the only thing Judas would ever feed on again. The book does not say anything about it having to be the blood of Christians. The book does say that God told Judas that you will never find the comfort of death. Nothing will kill you or your kind, but you will seek the darkness and live in dark, moist places, wishing that you could taste water again, but it will never cross your lips. You will walk through the many years in front of you, remembering that what you have done and what has been done to you in return, and you will know that your end will be in a burning lake of fire that will never go out. God told Judas that he knew Judas would have many offspring and that they too would be cursed, the same as Judas, to be creatures of the night and to feed only blood on blood. God is said to have told Judas that wine or sweet water will never cross your lips again. God went on to tell Judas that in the end, at the end of days, that Judas and all his offspring would be cast into a burning lake of fire along with Lucifer and his demons, where you will remain forever.